Doing great, Estelle. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me a little bit about your experience. I know I've had a lot of questions about what it's like to work with a personal stylist, and I've had so much fun working with you.
Me too.
Yay! I thought we could just kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, can you just kind of tell everyone what it is you do and kind of why that's important to you for it?
For sure.
Yeah.
So I am an in-house attorney. I work at an education technology company, and my role is almost 100%. It's basically all virtual. We do periodic meetings in person with the extended team, and sometimes flying in for business client meetings, and then of course conferences like this.
Right, and you were telling me, is it maybe like once a month or once a quarter that you have in-person meetings?
Yes, so it'll be anywhere from once a month to once a quarter, depending on what's going on.
Okay. And then before we started working together, what were some of your style challenges that led you to come talk to me?
Oh, like having the same tops and the same pants for way too long.
Yeah,
I
happens.
had stopped enjoying shopping because I didn't know what worked for me, and I'd get frustrated, and yeah, just sort of feeling like I was like on Groundhog Day with everything I was wearing.
Yes, for sure. And I mean, I imagine that COVID probably didn't help things.
For sure.
So how did your kind of day-to-day life change after COVID in terms of like where you show up, Zoom meetings and stuff like that?
Yes, so my role, I was in a different role when COVID started,
Okay.
and we would work remote all the time. However, we used WebEx at the time,
Okay.
and we had just started using WebEx, so we still use it mostly for phones, so we had to transition to video. So once we were all home and with everybody who happens to live in your home and being on
Yes.
video, because then I think people felt the need to be on camera all the time for connection or just to kind of show that you were working.
Yeah.
And so then since then now it's like my whole life is on video. So you're constantly seeing that reflection back, which
Yes.
might sometimes not be the best feeling.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, talk a little bit, so now that we've worked together, can you share some of the specific results that we've created since doing the signature style service together?
Yes. Well, first of all, it's been amazing. So if you're on the fence, do it. If you're not sure, do it. And so, like, this is one example.
Style by style.
Head to toe.
I love it.
Including the earrings, the belt, everything.
Yay.
And it's been amazing. And we've only really just gotten started, but we had this conference coming up, and Estelle did an amazing job of pulling together a bunch of outfits and combinations that there was enough time to get some of them home and delivered so I can model them for her. She could tell me what worked, what didn't, validate if I was kind of on the fence,
Yes.
giving me that encouragement, you know what, that looks amazing, or maybe a smaller size, or maybe that's not the right one, we can find another one. So it's been amazing, like a game changer for sure.
Yay, and I think that's really important because sometimes it's hard to know what looks good on you, or sometimes it's just easy to kind of settle for things.
Absolutely.
And you know, my experience or my preference is if you're going to spend the money and like invest in yourself, then make sure we love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you've helped me a lot with that, where it's sort of like, well, this was a good deal and it looks good enough, and you're like, we could do better. Or maybe this might be more of a staple piece, so it's a little more expensive, but it looks phenomenal and it feels great, so go for it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, and I know, like you said, we are relatively newer into the process, but we've gone through at least the creating your signature style process and the first round of shopping. What's been your favorite part so far?
So my favorite part has been being surprised by how great your picks have been. So I have been definitely, at least initially, right, somewhat skeptical, like, I don't know about that, but she's recommending it, and that's what I hired her for, and I love your style, so I'm gonna order it. And then I shared with you my daughter, who's almost 15. I would show her the look. She's like, oh, those look great. I don't know about if it's gonna be for you. And then it comes in, I model it. She's like, oh, that's great. So.
Yeah, and so what you're talking about is going through your online lookbook where you see the images before you order, and so it's kind of hard to vision how's that going to look on me when you see that, and so then actually getting it and being happy by the results.
Yes, it's almost like, woo, it's Christmas every day that box pops in.
I love it. So what are some ways that you found that your life has changed just in having this initial capsule wardrobe and having the style put together for you?
So typically I would way overpack for a conference and end up wearing the same things, and half of what I packed I would not use. Yes. This time I was able to be very intentional about what I packed and know that for each like day, evening, there was something already set up and I could mix and match. So I never felt like I looked the same, but always polished and put together.
Love it. I love it. And I think another thing that I've noticed when talking with people, and at least it's something that I notice when I pack now, is I try to just bring a couple pairs of shoes, because I feel like shoes can take up a lot of space when you're packing. And so have you felt that that's been easy, having just a few pairs of shoes, or has that been a change from how you've packed in the past?
No, that's been great, especially because some of the shoes were the Rothy shoes, so they're flat and super comfy.
Yes.
So they take up less space. And then one pair of the shoes are these that I'm wearing now, which I can't tell if you can see.
Love them.
But like a block heel, and so it was perfect versus, okay, let me just pack everything, and I haven't been intentional at what I'm actually going to use.
You know, and when you talked about the heels, it just reminded me that sometimes women, like, because I post what I wear all the time. And so, you know, right now I'm wearing my little black heels here. And I think sometimes women think that I'm faking it when I say they're really comfortable. Have you found the black heels have been comfortable to walk in throughout the day? Or?
Oh my gosh, so much more comfortable than I could have imagined. I'm definitely like heel averse and challenged.
And I am too. I want comfort. That's important.
Comfort is key.
Yeah.
And they're great. They really have, you know, I can see wearing these often, especially when I need a little bit of height.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Well, we may have kind of touched on this earlier, but I always like to know, because I think when people are contemplating, you know, do I want to invest in a service like that, that sometimes there are some hesitations that might come up. What kind of hesitations did you have in considering whether to buy this package or not?
Well, I guess the first hesitation is always, am I going to get as much out of it as I feel I should get? And then I guess just being skeptical generally, right? It's the first time I've invested in myself in this way, and it really is an investment. I think we are so quick to invest our time, energy, and finances in other people, the people around us.
Yes.
We don't do as good a job doing it for ourselves. So for me, I viewed this as I'm investing in myself. It's going to help me look good. It's going to help me feel good. And, you know, you've hit it out of the park.
Yay, I love that. Well, that kind of leads me to my next question, which is, you know, what is something that has been a byproduct of having your outfits on your app and coming here? Like, how have you felt during this conference that may have been different from previous times in terms of how you felt with your style?
So I definitely felt a lot more confident. I feel like I just showed up in a brighter way, if that's like a thing.
I've noticed a little more spring. Yeah, you're a little flirty and fun.
Yeah,
and like
just sort of like,
I
think I look cute.
You do.
And, you know, that's great if you think it too. And I've gotten great compliments and feedback. Awesome. So yeah, it's just been, and less mind space thinking about like, oh, I wish I would have had something cute like that. I feel like, oh no, I can hold my own in this room, which has been great.
Absolutely. Definitely. So who do you think would benefit the most from this kind of a virtual style service?
So for sure, anyone who's in the doldrums as far as you haven't gone shopping in a long time, or hey, maybe you're like me and have lots of cute outfits that you just never wear for any number of reasons. They're not comfortable, they don't fit anymore, you don't know what to wear them with, and so you end up with the same, you know, couple of, you know, combinations. I think anyone in that sort of space, this is definitely good for you. And then I also think someone who's going to more in-person events, because I feel like we've all forgotten how to act, we've forgotten how to dress, we've forgotten how to show up. So having you with your expertise help to, you know, curate the look is really just, it's one less thing for you to have to worry about.
Yeah, and like what you're wearing now with the dark, the black denim, it's not suits, but it's very put together, and you're comfortable with what you have on.
Super comfortable, and these jeans and the other jeans that we got are just like super comfortable. They like hold you in. They don't feel like they're tight. They're elongating, like all the things.
Cut. Yeah. Yes. And that was one of the things that I remember you said when we first started working together. It's like, I don't want to look boxy. I would look at pictures and think I looked boxy, and so I was like, okay, we're not doing the boxy look.
Yes, we are no longer boxy.
Good. I love that. And I guess if there's anything else that you're thinking about that we haven't talked about, I know you talked a little bit, if someone's on the fence, you know, like you would recommend taking the plunge.
Yes, absolutely. And I would say just trust the process. And, you know, if you really, really, you know, feel like you don't like something, that's okay. That's part of the process.
Absolutely. And sometimes I may recommend something that's a little bit outside your comfort zone. And that's by design, because if I don't, then I'm not pushing you far enough.
For sure.
And then sometimes we might get something and be like, you know, we thought this was going to look right, but it doesn't necessarily look as good as we thought, so we'll just go to the next one.
Yeah, like as an example, even the dresses that we had ordered, which I was so excited about, and then I tried them on, and some were a little tight here, some were a little loose here, but as a result of that process, then you identified a silhouette that we could then focus on getting more of those. So they're waiting for me at home. I can't wait to try them on.
I can't wait either. I love it. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share with the people what it's like.
Yes.
So awesome.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thanks.